Mic is now. Mic is now. All right, your mic. All right, the mic should be on now. Sorry. Thank you guys for. All right, so we're back. My name is Vince Perri. I'm your business broker and your entrepreneur and public adjuster, and I'm here to basically really just talk about increasing value. So one thing that I always say is the quote below is a business that you can sell is a great business to own. And what that means basically is you want to be able to build a well-oiled machine. And what I was getting into, thank you, Dalton, for letting me know that the mic was off. What I was getting into was basically the fact that, let me see, is it on now? I'm hoping that it is. All right, good. Thank you, sir. There's three core factors when it comes to building the value of your business. Three core factors when it comes to it. Number one is financials. But when it comes to financials is cash. It's profit. It's very important that you are generating cash in your business. You have to build that cash flow. Now, first half of my entrepreneur journey, I actually thought too much profit was bad. Why? Is because every accountant told me that the more profit I make, the more I have to pay in taxes. So try not to make too much profit. Literally, that's what they told me. And that could not be further from the truth. And the reason why is because if you're trying to save on taxes and you're trying to do whatever you can to not pay Uncle Sam, I get it. You do whatever you can to do that. But the way people do that is you strategize with different entities, different real estate properties, different companies, different things that you could basically put your cash flow in to ultimately save on taxes so much to the point where you don't necessarily have to pay a lot of taxes. There are ways of doing that. However, if you just have one business and you only operate through one business only, I will tell you that you cannot run a successful business without actual cash flow. Cannot run a successful business without actual money left over at the end of the year, because then you have nothing to reinvest it in. If you are literally taking all of your profit at the end of the year and putting into a truck or putting it into something else in the business so that you could save on taxes, you are not going to be in business for very long. Take it from me. First half of my entrepreneur journey, that's what I tried to do, and I almost fell flat on my face. So you have to, if you're going to have just one business, you want to be profitable, but the way you do that is you want to save on taxes from the beginning of the year. Anywhere between 10 or 20% of every single dollar that you make into your business, you have to save it into a separate account. Now, if you go look at the YouTube video that I had with Megan, where she's my Profit First coach, where we broke down all of the different bank accounts that you need, that's the best way. I've got a podcast coming up, I think next week, that's coming up with another financial advisor. And guess what? He does the same thing. So if Megan, who's an accountant, financial advisor, bookkeeper, uses Profit First and is Profit First certified, and then this guy that I interviewed next week, that shows next week, is a financial advisor that focuses on how do I remove this thing? That focuses on financials, and he does Profit First as well. Then I recommend that you use Profit First. And that's not what this is about. What all this is about, and I'm going to get into Profit First now, is really what I'm doing a lot of now is building value clarity reports. It's giving clarity to business owners, giving clarity to entrepreneurs, giving clarity to public adjusters as well in my mastermind, to let them know that this is not just about claims. This is about actually building a well-run business that maybe you can sell one day, because I will tell you 99% of the public adjusting firms out there are unsellable because they rely strictly on owner dependence, which is number two. So if you're interested at all, real quick, and you want to know what your business is worth, or you want to know anything about the value clarity report, then I just want you to make sure that you DM or comment clarity. Just DM or comment clarity, and I will reach out to you. We could set up a quick call, and I could basically tell you sort of what this clarity is all about, and I could break it down even further, because I'm always trying to help and do whatever I can to help you guys. So you take your accounts and you separate it into 5 accounts, 5 separate accounts. Number one is you have your revenue account. This is all the income that you're making in your business that you want to do. I'm going to stand up because I always feel like standing up. Even though one of my friends says that douche or no douche, standing up, having a stand-up desk is douche. I don't believe that. If you think it's douche, type douche. If you don't, type not douche. Basically 5 accounts. Number one is revenue account. You have to have a revenue account. That's right. So any money that comes into your business goes into your revenue account. Now, here's the funny part. At the end of every week or every 2 weeks, people usually allocate either weekly or bi-weekly. Shirt. It should be at 0. That's right. So you're going to take all of that. You're going to allocate it into 4 other accounts. One of those accounts, so you have revenue account. The second account is going to be your tax account. The third account is going to be your owner distribution account. The fourth account is going to be your operating expenses account. And the fifth account is the most important account of them all, profit account, right? So you're going to basically at the end of every week or bi-weekly, or if you're doing it, thank you, Ricky. If you're doing it by, bi-weekly, or if you're doing it monthly because you're self-implementing, then you need to make sure that you allocate that every month because you got to get it out of there. If you have just too much money in one account, you don't know exactly how much money you really have. And you're just always just looking at, do I have cash? All right, great. Do I have cash? All right, great. How can you reinvest in your company and make strategic decisions on the spending habits that you have for your company if you do not know exactly how much money you have? I would love to show you my bank account. Maybe I'll show you like a blank one or something one day. But I've got like 8 accounts. We've got a marketing account. We've got a payroll account, because then there's a way that you can make it even better. So every one of my companies has at least 5 accounts. And every single week, my bookkeeper, shout out to you, Anna, separates and allocates that revenue every single week. So I know exactly every Monday when I go in, I know exactly how much I have. Well, I have an commission. I have commissions account to pay the adjusters. We already know based on how much we technically pay the adjusters on a monthly basis. We know exactly how much to put in that account every single week. All right. I'm always doing crazy math. I have 3 accounts. Yeah. So you need 5. So 5. So it's just sweet, man. It's just organized. You know exactly what you got. You know exactly how much you have on operating. Once you get the budget, you want to get the budget of the last 12 months. Guys, there's a whole video and a whole interview on this. Once you get the budget and you get your spending habits and everything and your financials for the last 5 months, you take those 5 months, then you allocate. Now, the other question that people don't know, and it varies from business to business, is how much do you allocate to each one? It depending on the size of your business. Believe it or not, if you're still in the beginning stages of your business, you need to be paying yourself a lot more than you think. You need to be putting a lot more into profit than you think. Because when you're starting from the ground up, it's a grind. It's a lot of work, and you need to pay your worth. One thing that you have to do, guys, when you are running a business, you have to get to a point, look at the market value of what your position is. And if your position is every position in the company, then you need to get to a place where you're paying yourself relevant compensation for all of those positions to you. Now, that doesn't mean you have to pay yourself $500,000, but you need to pay yourself, eventually get to a place where you're paying yourself relevant market value of the position that you are in. So if you are a CEO and you are running a company that's making $100,000 a year, you need to pay yourself like a CEO, owner of a $100,000 company. You have to get to that point. If you are still at a level where you're just not paying yourself and you're not paying yourself enough money for the relevance of your company, well, then that's a big mistake, because you're going to burn out and it's not fun anymore. The other fun part about the Profit First system is that at the end of every quarter, whatever profit is in the profit account, you take half of that, and guess what you do with it? You give yourself a bonus. Exactly. Bonuses are nice. They make you feel good. It's really nice. So again, if you are interested in learning more about this stuff, I do this all the time with people, with business owners, not just public adjusters, anybody in any business at all. I'm in my BNI group. We're knocking out all these value clarity reports, and they're really fun. So you could also click here, go to my Calendly. I don't know if you're able to do it here, but you're going to want to know about that. The second thing, there's 3 core principles when basically increasing the value of your business. The second thing is owner dependency. Okay. Now you read this all the time. You want to buy back your time. Dan Martell says you want to do whatever you can. You want to delegate. You want to create SOPs. You want to do all of these things. Make sure that you are not fully involved in the entire business. You have to start from the beginning. The reason why this is so important, guys, is the reason why this quote is so important. A business that you can sell is a great business to own. Is because you should start preparing and building your business like a product that can one day be valuable enough to sell. Okay, and I'm going to go back to the quote. Once you are doing that, what you're creating based on these core principles that I'm going to tell you about right now is you're building a well-oiled machine. So if you decide that you don't want to sell, well, you just built something amazing that could run on its own, and that maybe you could pass to your children. So you have to start on day 1 to focus on owner dependency. How do you do that? Is you need to start creating SOPs immediately. You need to start creating checklists. You need to start creating processes for every single part of the business. If you're a public adjuster, there should be a process for your follow-ups. There should be a process for how you negotiate. There should be a process for how you estimate. There should be a process for how you inspect. There should be a process for how you take photos. There should be a process for everything. It's not that hard. You could literally use ChatGPT, use the voice feature, and create it just like that. At least start with something and just put it away in a folder. If it's something that you're doing on the computer, I seriously should get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars by Loom for how much I actually recommend them. You go to loom.com, you get the subscription. Don't get the free version, get the subscription, because the free version I think limits you to like 2 or 3 minutes per video, and you start recording yourself doing everything, okay? Every single thing that you're doing, because eventually you want yourself to be replaced by the thing that you are doing, okay? There is a replacement ladder. If you are unsure what that is, message me replacement ladder, and I will be happy to exactly tell you the order that you need to start hiring the right people. Guys, I know from experience, and I know from failures, and I know from success exactly what works. And I'm not telling you any bullshit. It is what it is, okay? So if you want to know more, again, about the value clarity report, and you want to know more about what your business is actually worth, it doesn't matter if your business is only worth $50,000. It's great to always know and then get yourself a target on how to actually get there. Because if you just literally implement these three core principles, all right, of having clean financials and making actual profit and being cash heavy, making sure that you are not owner dependent. And if you're just starting out a business and you are not and you are super owner dependent, just start now. Start by creating the processes, start creating the systems. This is what I teach in the mastermind for the public adjusters. I'm not sure if all of them listen to me, but they really should, because I know what I'm talking about. Start now. Even if you don't have any employees, start now. Create it. So as soon as you bring somebody on and you already got an SOP of how you go through your emails on a daily basis, you could literally take that SOP that you created and you just give it to them. Here, start checking my emails. And now you no longer have to worry about emails. Or when you hire a field adjuster or somebody on the field, here's exactly how I do my field inspections. Step 1 to step 50. Okay, now go ahead and knock it out. Now you don't have to do that anymore. SOPs are very, very important. I saved the best for last. The third core, and again, real quick, if you want to know what your business is worth and you want to get clarity on your business, it doesn't matter if you're literally just started just yesterday. I'm telling you, what I can provide you is a value clarity report that is, honestly, I had to separate it all because it was 50 plus pages of straight up information about your specific company and everything you need to do, what it's valued at, and everything you need to do to increase the value of that company. Because a business that you can sell is a great business to own. The third most important thing and core principle when it comes to increasing the value of your business, it's one of the questions almost every single buyer looking at a business that I have listed and selling, they want to know is there any recurring revenue? What is recurring revenue? Is there any kind of subscription? Is there any kind of membership where people are locked in? At the very least on a month-to-month basis, but I would recommend at least starting out with quarterly or at least yearly. So even if they're paying per month, it should be on a 1-year commitment. And if they want to pay for the full year, they get a discount. Or if they want to pay per month for the 1-year commitment, they have to pay a little bit more. And they're locked in for a year. And you already know that for 12 months, I don't care if it's $15 a month or if it's $2,000 a month. Every month, you know for a fact that there's going to be revenue directly deposited into your account from a client. And because if you're able to focus on that and grow that, and I always give the example of the AC company that I have, I pay $12.99 a month. And what I get for the $12.99 a month is anything that I need as far as repairs to my AC, they will come and they give, I think, a 10% discount. Any other big jobs, it could be anywhere from 15 to 20%. I forgot what all the things are, but it makes you feel like you're part of a club. It makes you feel like you're a member and you get special perks for paying this monthly fee. And you do the math, and it may not seem like a lot. It's $12.99. Let's call it $15 a month. Let's call it $13 a month. 13 times 12 months. I'm only paying them $156 a month. But you multiply that by 100 customers, and they're making $15,000, $15,600 a year to do nothing. Because I always just forget that I even have this thing. Now, and the other thing, here's the best part. Because I'm paying this membership, if I have an issue with my AC, I am not calling anyone else to come out and fix my AC. So now, not only are they getting the benefit of the $13 a month, but they're also guaranteed the work to get done when a problem does occur. every single time. Who else would I call? I'm already paying them the $13 a month. I might as well have them. It's not even about the 10% discount. It's about the fact that I pay them every single month, and they're the people that I'm going to call. The next thing when you have a subscription and you have a membership is you have a chance to upsell them on different things all the time because they're already with you. Whether you have the upsell and you have the add-on right there to sell with them, or if it's just an idea that comes whenever it is. As an entrepreneur, we have a lot of ideas. Oh, I've got this new thing that I want to offer. Who do you want to offer to first? Your members. So, because they're already there, they're already your clients, they're already like your members and paying you on a monthly basis. So recurring revenue and subscription is so important. And the funny thing is that a lot of people think that it cannot be implemented in their particular business. But I will tell you that it can. And one of those businesses that people say that it can't be done is public adjusting. Well, we get paid a percentage, and that's all that is. I said, yes, you do. But if you really look at your business, and if you want this value clarity report, I'm telling you, it's freaking gold. It's taken. I'm creating the systems and processes behind it now, but it's so valuable. In public, what you do when you're looking for a subscription model, and I'm logging off at 12, is you need to basically take one of two things. You either take the most valuable part of your service and you turn it into a product, or you take the roadmap, the onboarding, the getting of the information that you provide, and you turn that into a product. So I'll give you one example is if you're a marketing agency, for instance, and marketing, I was just talking to one of the guys on my team who has a marketing agency, and he was telling me about how he sat down with a public adjuster actually to explain how he could help as a marketing agency, what he can provide. He provided like the map of we do this and we do that, and here's how we can do it, and you would grow your subscribership to this, and you get leads like this, and this is what we do. And I said, my first question when he told me about it was, did you charge for that? And he's like looking at me like I'm crazy. He's like, no, why would I charge for that? Like, I'm trying to get him as a client. And it's like, that's great, but you're not getting any money. Your time is valuable, and you're providing him value with sort of all the strategies and techniques that you're going to do. And in public adjusting, I will tell you how many times we sign a contract and we go in, and this is now taking the most valuable part of your service. This is part 2 of it. The most valuable part of the service as a public adjuster is what? We call it the claim package, right? It's the estimate, it's the walkthrough, it's the photos, it's the narrative, it's the gathering of expert documentation. You put all that into one, you present that to the insurance company, and voila. What if I told you you could potentially look into your state laws, state guidelines, and sort of how you can do this, but just take the claim package, make it super pretty and very nice with a nice title cover art and beautiful photo of the home and all of the valuable information, and you just sell it. And you sell it just like that. What if you just did that? Okay, now you've got a product that you could sell. Now, again, you have to check your guidelines. You have to charge a percentage. Maybe you do in your state, maybe you don't. Can you just charge it per hour? Maybe you can, maybe you can't. Okay, it varies from state to state. But I'll also go a little bit further. If you're looking for a subscription model for an insurance claim, you have another option. Public adjusters are very good at gathering information, okay? Public adjusters are very good at telling a narrative of exactly what occurred in a claim. If you don't have any claims, and if nobody calls you when the shit hits the fan, then you're not making any money. What if you could provide some kind of maintenance? What if you could provide something that's very famous, very popular with public adjusters is what I used to call a pre-loss risk assessment. So I would go to commercial properties and I would do a whole entire assessment for free in the hopes that if a storm occurred, I would actually get that job. What if you charge for that? And you could charge homes for that. So you basically go to a home and you say, look, we do this inspection of your house as public adjusters, as insurance experts, and we also review your policy to make sure you have all the standard coverages for the upcoming storm season. And you charge for that. And you provide them like an inspection report and an overall review of their policy. Here's what happens is now, instead of you marketing Google ads and marketing for the chance of something happening, now you're actually marketing a product that people could purchase right then and there. So from that, You could create a landing page, create some testimonials, throw some ads behind it, get leads coming in, hire 2 salespeople to close it, hire 2 salespeople to cold call every single home in your neighborhood. Guys, it's time to think outside the box, especially in the public adjusting industry. And if you want to know more, DM or comment clarity or DM me. I'm telling you, you're going to want to know more about this. It's very, very valuable. If you own a business, if you are running a company, I want you to DM me clarity, and I want you to make sure that you get the value that I'm going to provide for you, because it's so next level. You're just going to be like, wow, that's amazing. So that's all I got today, guys. I'm short to the point because I got a meeting to go to with a bunch of financial people that I can't wait to talk to. And I'm also very, very hungry. So guys, thank you for coming on the live. I really appreciate your time. These are just one of the things that I'm working on right now that I'm very, very excited. And like I said before, my favorite quote that I like to say all the time now is, a business that you can sell is a great business to own. Don't forget it. Later. End stream.